Okay, perfect. Thank you for hopping on, Alessandro. So before we hop into any of the questions about your experience, give us a little bit of background, your name, job title, and how long you'd been in the role just before joining the program.
Thanks, Luke. So, quick overview. I'm Alessandro. I've been an SDR for 5 months total, let's say. I'm at a company in the travel business, software for business travel, here in Milan, Italy. And I came across to your LinkedIn 3 months ago, I believe, 3 months ago, 2 months ago. And then I decided to join because I was very curious. I've heard great things about the people that did the course, and I wanted to test it out on myself. So
Okay.
that's how we came across.
Sweet. So who do you cold call? What's the type of job titles that you're reaching out to right now?
Yeah. So mainly C-levels. I cold call CEOs, CFOs, HRs, directors, and executive assistants. Yeah, this is the type of buyer personas that I call. This is about it. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so take me back to before we first spoke, let's say a week before you joined the program. What did a typical week look like for you on the phones before the program?
So I wanted to give a little bit of context, which might help as well for others. I did a prior experience as an SDR for 3 months, which was more of, I don't want to say B2C, but almost, because it was the personas were mainly lawyers, so it was a very different type of cold calling. When I moved to enterprise, to B2B, business to business, the structure was completely different. The stakeholders were many, the dynamics of the situations were very different. It was a lot more complex. People had to ask for approved budget, had to do many steps, and the whole sales process is another level, is another complexity, I would say. So when I started in this company, I didn't have a lot of structure for myself in terms of what are the processes of a cold call, what are the processes of a follow-up, and so I was missing opportunities left and right. I wouldn't say I was bad, definitely, because I was always very, very curious, but I didn't have the structure. That was what I was missing the most. And I would see some people go through it like it was almost magic. So I said, wait a second, I have to do something.
So what were you like? Let's say you knew you had to start dialing, you didn't really want to.
Yeah.
Like, what was the honest version of what you were doing instead? Because I know that you were probably not as dial heavy when you very first started. So I'm just curious, before the program, did you procrastinate at all? Were you avoiding the phones, or what did that look like?
Yeah, I realized that I didn't want to, when people ask me, what do you do? I didn't want to answer, I talk to gatekeepers. That I feel like I was missing that confidence to be really like talking to C-levels all day and directors all day. So yeah, I was kind of avoiding that, going for the easier route, which was maybe dialing to gatekeepers to get a first discovery in, and then also not really structuring my day. So you know how it is. You start dialing, you make a few ones, then you write some notes on the op, then you write some emails, then you check your phone, then you have an internal meeting, then you go back to dialing without much structure. So that was what was going on. So to recap, it was not bad. It was definitely not bad, but I didn't have much structure.
And before you joined, did you try anything to fix it yourself? Like, or was there anything that you tried in terms of strategies that wasn't able to stick for you, I guess?
No, not really. I was, I read some sales books here and there, but totally different. The problem was applying, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You get bombed with a lot of information on all social medias, on tips, and you save them. You save them, you write them down, but then applying and having someone that follows up with you, this was the game changer, I feel like.
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to get on to. So let me ask you this. When you joined the program and you started making calls after the coaching, was there a specific moment where something felt a little bit different? Not even necessarily your best call, but was there one specific moment where you felt like things had changed a little bit?
Yeah, because I had the ownership of knowing what was going on. That's what I said before to the other guys with you, was the price of, because sales is a roller coaster. Even if you're the best in what you do, you're gonna have slow weeks, maybe even slow months. But the ability to go to bed and sleep well, because you know that you have a structure, a program that works, and you just have to put faith on it and keep going, following it to the best of what you can, and it's gonna work out at the end. So this was the main thing. I was going through days, through weeks that maybe nothing worked out, but I knew where I was able to point out where things were not going well, what was going right, what was not going right, and just being more, having more ownership and awareness of the whole week in general.
Love it, love it. So how many meetings were you booking on average per week before you joined?
So I'm gonna just go through the times where I was already in B2B, because again, B2C, I believe like it's something completely different. So when I started, I did a whole quarter before the course, where I booked 8 meetings, which was my target, my initial ramp up through the whole.
In a quarter.
Yeah, in a quarter. Yeah, 8 demos qualified, which go again. The AE has to qualify through certain aspects, which is budget, need, many different criterias, and total was 8 in 3 months qualified. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess talk me through, let's say, a normal week. Let's say week 3 onwards from the cohort. Just give me both numbers just so I can compare them, because obviously it's a little bit hard to make sense of them on their own. So how long did it take you to start seeing decent results, and what were those results?
I think week 2. So week 1 was week 1 was the first classes, the first 2 classes and the first 1-to-1, and then I started applying in week 2, and then I started seeing results in week 2. Results, what I mean by results is from the objection handling to meetings booked. And then the 3rd week, I believe I did 7 in total. Yeah, I did like in one day I did like 3, and then like every day I booked at least 1, and then compounding in 5 days was 7 total, which was was insane to me.
That is insane. That is insane. So just to clarify, it was like 8 over the first 3 months or so, and then in 1 week you got 7.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, so what do you do on the calls now that the old way genuinely would not have worked? Like, is there any particular thing that you're doing now that you think has really made a big difference in terms of your calls in comparison to the old approach that you took?
You mean from the moment I pick up the phone throughout the call? Yeah, well, we have more awareness of the steps of the whole cold call, you know. The opener, the conversation, which, you know, also with the other coaches of the course helped me out a lot with the objection handling, and then the closing. Having those steps in mind really helped me out. And if you want, I can spill the tea, but then again, it wouldn't make sense. So I don't know if you want me to. I don't know how much detail you want, but yeah, it's just following the which is not a script, by the way. Never made a script for us. You know, it was more of using helping, you know, with AI to your specific problem that the company solves.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me tailor made, let's say, the call to really the type of person that I had in front, you know, first. Second one gave me that confidence to really, I hated to say to sound like a salesperson, you know, which I don't believe in today's world this helps. So it made me sound excuse me, more natural, curious, from a person to a person, not a salesperson to a prospect, you know, which completely changed my day to day. I don't feel like I'm begging anymore, you know,
Yeah.
which I never felt, but I hated to sound like that, you know. Now I just sound like, even from the tone, from the velocity of the words, the speed, sorry. I feel like when I speak with directors, it's a spot on conversation with nothing to hide, no little tricks. You always told us that we don't want to sound like we're tricking and people with psychology and all that. You know, we want to sound like consultants. We want to sound like, I made this comparison before, like from a waiter to a doctor. You know, a doctor is not like, okay, today we're gonna do a surgery on your knee and everything is gonna be good. No, the doctor comes, asks the right questions, see if he can help, see where the pain is, and just build that relationship, which I think is very important. You know, that trust, that relationship with the prospect.
Love it, man. So I have one more or two more questions.
Go for it.
If you could go back to the week before you signed up, or a couple of days before you signed up, and you were still
Yeah.
umming and umming a little bit, what would you say to yourself?
Stop shitting yourself, because I was not ready. I didn't know if I wanna, you know, if I wanna invest in this, you know. But I think, yeah, just go for it. Just go for it and do exactly what, you know. Go for it with a curious mindset, open mindset. Implement everything with speed. You know, I think speed is a huge factor. So we had 4 weeks, you know, and if I would start to implement everything in the 4th week, I wouldn't be able to come with you with the questions, you know. So implement from day one and go back with questions, because when you implement, you have data, and then you can go back to the right people and see, look, this is working out, this is not working out for me, or this is not working out for my market, for my type of, you know, business. How can we change that?
Perfect. That's pretty much it. I guess one more thing. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't already?
I don't believe so. No, I don't believe. I think we went through it all. Through the before, to the middle of the implementation of the program, and the after. And I think you just gave we just gave a good scenario of what it looked like before, middle, and after. And this is
Perfect.
about it.
Bro, you are a legend. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you very much.
No problem.